welcome to Pwnery's Penny Arcade, and this is something a little different. Some of you may know what this is. This is Valheim. The best way I can describe this game is it's a mix between H1Z1 and Vikings, the TV show. You can defeat bosses and monsters and gain abilities like the one I have at the bottom left of my screen. You can craft your gear. You can build empires and cities, bases and safe houses and warp zones and all sorts of great stuff. But the reason I'm doing this episode is because I wanted to show what you can do when it comes to base building if you really apply yourself. This is like, I don't know, Roblox for some people, or Minecraft. I've played neither. To me, it's more like digital Legos with a Viking theme. Anyway, I read the Valheim update notes the other day, and they were talking about build of the month, and they were showing off individual pieces. And unfortunately, my base is so big that there's no way I can do it in a single video or screenshot. So what I thought I would do is share it with you in a video. And if somebody wants to get the attention of the people of Valheim who do this contest, maybe they'll get their eyeballs on it, and maybe they can share the video. Anyway, I'm here in the meadows, right here. And as you can see, we've mapped out a lot of the area. Like, a lot of the area. But we picked this Meadows base, me and a couple of friends, and the guy who got this game to me basically told me that what was going to happen was eventually we're all going to go and try to be creative and build our own bases. And that's kind of what I did. I took our central base and I kept improving on it. And thankfully the weather cleared up. It's another gorgeous day out with a bit of wind. And I'm just going to show you what I've done so far, because you could do this too. This used to be a mountain. Now it's a crevasse, a fjord, a giant hole where a bunch of stone used to be. And where did it go? Well, over here. I'm sorry if my... This is such a big base that I now get 13 frames a second on an i9 CPU built to the hilt. Anyway, this is my north gate, and as you can see, I built castle walls that extend very far. I've built a moat to stop incoming raids. Most monsters don't even make it here. They don't even make it to those prickly deals on the wall. But just to give you an idea of the size and scale, we're just going to walk down the moat a bit. If you fall in there, you will die. You don't have enough stamina usually to swim your way to the edge. But as you see on the map, to the top right corner, the map ends right about here. And as you see there, the town doesn't. It actually curves. And if you look off into the distance, the draw distance that is, I can't even get far enough out for you to see it all. There's a black marble lighthouse out there, out into the ocean. That was a challenge to build. You'll get a better look at it in a second. Anyway, here's the wall. I believe it's 8 or 10 stacks high because I dug down and built up. Oop, crap. Good thing we're near the edge, huh? Alright, let's go ahead and enter the north gate. What I've done is, I gave each gate exit an animal name. So, once we get to the bridge here, sort of did this like an airlock. This is the Dragon Gate North. So, dragons up there. Yeah. And so you enter this way, I'm on day 445, by the way, if you're wondering how long it took. But my base has a bit of an Asian theme. Well, being half Asian, I guess that sort of helps, right? But just to give you an idea, this is I believe this is a fine wood farm that I built a long time ago. Oh, apparently I have a fish that got out. Pick him up. Oh, I got 2 fish that got out. They seem to be clipping through the floor. 3 fish that got out. They clip through the floor and end up here, even though I built this. This is my fish pond. And I built a gate around, or a wall around it so the fish couldn't get stuck, but they clipped through. And don't worry, there's an observation deck. It's over here. Is that another fish? It is. They are getting out somehow. Anyway, there's the observation deck. You can see all the fish down there. Usually, when they're not jumping out, you just throw him back in the water. And I have to separate these, otherwise they don't work. There. So here's my fish pond. It actually goes through the east wall here. There's a portcullis down there, and it connects to the moat on the eastern wall. Anyway, that's my fish pond. I just threw a couple in there just for ambiance or whatnot. And there's a little walkway up there. You can see them all around here if you want. And they do swim. Well, there's a... Actually, no, I think I got rid of it. For some reason, I threw a tuna in here and it won't swim, so I just cooked them up and ate them. This is my apiary. I actually have a friend who is a beekeeper, so he was tickled pink when he saw this. And I built like a thatch open roof with a couple of braziers just so I have some light. I don't even use honey anymore, but you know, I did that a long time ago. This here is actually my pig farm. It's 2 stories. So you can see there's a lot of pigs in there. A lot of pigs in there. And I like to give things creative names. Some of you may recognize this sign. It's actually a play on an old meme from a billboard seen in Sweden, I believe. So this works like an airlock too, in case I have one get out. And then some of them have names. I've gotten so many of these lately that they don't all have names now. If you know Korean and Hangul, some of you will know what that means. This. But yeah, this one here it's 2 stories, so sometimes they climb up here. Not all the time. The chickens. I have a chicken farm. And the chicken farm, they do go up on the 2nd floor. A lot. I done picked up a bunch of my raspberries. Oops. Here. Let's get this back in here. There we go. Try not to pick it back up. Sorry about the frame rate drop. There's just so many things on server that it has to load all these things in such a small area. Here's a bit of my farm. We're still on the north wall, by the way. So this is the Justin Wilson Memorial Ongyong farm plot. That's where I keep all the seeds. Over here is Tina turnips. Some of you will get that joke. This will pass through here. And my cared for carrots. This here is the office. The guy who got me into this game told me that you always have to build an outhouse. So, we have an outhouse. See? So I call it the office. So the part that I've been hiding is, I have a, let me walk over the docks here. I have a set of docks right here. And the reason I'm hiding something from you is because I want you to really bear witness to this. Yeah, there's a raft out there. But I built a boathouse. A very large, two-masted boathouse, as you can see. And it is a living space. That's where I keep my spawn bed thing. And let me tell you, that was not easy to build. And yes, the bottom of that boat is black marble. It's angled inward to sort of simulate the hull of a boat. And I did give it a wolf's head, and I gave it a mast, or flying, what do they call it, a flying bridge? That right there, well, let's just go take a look at it. I originally was in the middle of playing World of Warships, and I was playing the battleship Iowa, which is sort of where I got the idea for the hull shape. Don't worry, that W there, I'll explain it in a minute. Anyway, all aboard. I call it the SS Pwnery's Pleasurizer. It's not a dirty thing. For some of you who are automotive people, you know that AC Delco had a set of shocks called Pleasurizers. Anyway, welcome to my boat. They don't have red torches, but I did like the maritime lights for port and starboard. So they're yellow and green, unfortunately. And we can go in from the back here. And this is basically the great hall and dining area. I built these ducts so the light stays inside, but the smoke gets trapped in here, and it travels in between ductwork to keep the smoke out. So you can see, it's all trapped in there. I did the same thing with the ovens here at the front of the room. I ducted them upwards too. They all connect to the same central ductwork. Couple of fermenters, cauldron. This is one of those cooking irons where you can put like 5 pieces of meat. I know it's hard to see, but the hooks are underneath there. So all the smoke gets drafted away, which is nice. Go out this door here. And the hot tub on an open roof, because I didn't want it enclosed. I wanted it to feel open and airy. So I gave it glass walls and a hot tub. And obviously if you come up here, I left a couple of seats and a nice little table to sit down and take a look at my other boat dock right there. So this is still the north wall, and it carries all the way around, and it horseshoes around out towards the ocean there. As you can see, there's another wall there. They meet in the middle. But I got this idea of a protected harbor from several different influences. One, the Straits of Gibraltar, and the other one was from Naruto, where they had the 2 statues facing each other. And I think there was a similar thing in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So I got the idea from that. Over here is my boat docks. Apparently I'm missing a ship again somehow. Once upon a time there were 3 boats there. For some reason the server keeps eating the closest boat to me. But generally there's 3 boats there. So now I get to figure out what the heck happened to that. I got that idea from the sub-boat Pens of Lorient in World War II in France. That's kind of like the idea I got when I built that. Anyway, let's go below decks. Oh yes, it's multi-story. This is the 3rd floor down here. The working deck, I call it. And here I just have, you know, all the different crafting benches and whatnot. And yes, the water does clip into the boat, which is why most of the time I don't spend my time down here. Only in really severe storms does the water even get up to this level. But as you can see, it can. And then we go up to the top floor. And on the top floor I just put a couple of item stands for trophies. So like Eikthyr and the Lox trophy, and I think this was a stone golem. I haven't finished really outfitting this room yet, Just put a bed here. You may notice this little ridge. This is actually a peaked roof. This is where the ducting is. It goes underneath this room. And then back here, it's my own little private covered patio. See, it's all roofed in, but it's open air here. And you have to squint, but you can see through it, obviously. And I just put a couple of chairs. Some of the ventilation goes out to right here. So that's that peaked roof. And then down there is where the dining room area is. And so this is where the smoke gets a chance to escape. But by the time it gets out here, it's so thin that it doesn't really clog up the area and make it all foggy looking. This is foggy looking because of the stone golem. I might actually take that down. And then the other ventilation is right here, between the two floors. Right there. But yeah, the smoke can barely make it to here, so it dissipates usually before it gets out. So anyway, let's go over to the back of the boat. And I will show you what that is there. Actually, I could probably do it from up here. This is a sundial. The guy that got me into this game, he sent me a Reddit post of somebody who built this, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. So basically, since the sun is south of my base, I set it up like this, and each one of these is an hour. It starts at 8 a.m. and it ends at 4 p.m. So right now it's 3 p.m. as you can see there. And it does move. You can clearly see it slowly working its way down. Anyway, there's that. And when I built this place, I built the walls first. That one and the other one. And it was always a pain to have to move around to get from side to side. So I decided, let's build a sky bridge. So I did. It's up there. That connects the two walls in case you're in a hurry. Let's go take a look at that. This is going to be where my frame rates take a bit of a hit. Apologies. There we go. So, Sky Bridge South. This is just the south end of it, but it's just an arch, a couple of arches, a couple of stairs, and then I took a crystals and I made this pattern, and you can literally just walk across it and see through it, as you can see here. And the reason I did this was because when I built the sundial, actually this morning when I built the sundial, this used to be a stone floor, and it would actually cast a giant shadow over the sundial at certain times of the day, so I had to get rid of the floor. But now, it shines through it, minus the edges and handrails. Anyway. No, I should probably do something about that. Alright. So, Sky Bridge, it's just to get across side to side. There's nothing else really there. And I roofed it. I've been thinking about taking the roof off, but I kind of like it. So that was the Dragon Gate we entered from. This is the Harbor Tower. Basically, we just go down the wall here. And sometimes I like to... What happened to my boat? Oh, I think it broke. Yeah, the materials are down there. Huh. I don't know why it keeps eating that boat. Anyway, we'll jump up here. Sometimes I like to do that just so I can get a better vantage point. And we'll just work our way down. I put the metal grating up here so I wouldn't accidentally fall over the side. Yes, it happened several times. And then these are the towers, kind of like a beacon type deal. And it's not showing you because of the draw distance, but there's actually a glass wall all the way around the outside perimeter of that lighthouse. I just loaded it up with a bunch of wisp torches so the whole thing glows bright blue. I've got a portal. I'll show you what that looks like. We'll go inside there in a minute. That is a big ass wave. Look at that. So yeah, I built that out in the ocean, kind of like a beacon on when to, or how to get home, because from there it actually goes quite west this way, out into the places I haven't been to. And then at the end of these towers, I haven't really given it a purpose yet, so I just left the workbenches here. But I was gonna use them for something. I think I was gonna make them like an open air patio, and then I roofed them, and then I thought, whatever, I'll figure it out later. So the other one, it's symmetrical. Like the other one does the same thing. So this is all just stone archways, iron grates, black wood beams, and then I think diverger mesh, copper mesh. Kind of pissed about that boat. I lost 2 of them today there. And because the water's so deep, I don't get back my nails or my deer skins? Yeah, that's gonna suck. Anyway, let me just take the shortcut. This tower is oriented like that tower that we went up, so you're not really missing out on anything. The only difference is this has a little, you can walk around it here. So you can go down to the docks. And I put the tables here. That's really annoying. Like, that's the second boat I lost. Man. So each one of these are exactly the same. You just jump into a boat and off you go. So I did 3. Originally I was thinking I was going to do 5, but then I realized how close to the edge of the wall I got. So I figured, you know what, 3's good enough. And then that's just the exit there. I actually did use black marble for the edges. Just the ends of the gate. I just air quoted, I know you couldn't see that. And then these are all just diverger hanging lanterns. So let's go look at the rest of the actual base. I've shown you the head, I've shown you the farm, pig farm, tree farm, fish pond. This is what I call Big Dicks Halfway In. It's a meme. This is just basically a giant kitchen and workshop area, or kitchen area rather. Originally I had 2 of these, but my friend and I, we reduced it down to 1 because you could put double iron cooking stations on 1 fire, so there's no point in having 2 fires. It was just a lot of smoke. As you can see, it's ducted upward too. Well, actually no, this one isn't. I forgot, he modified this. We used to have our fermenters on the bottom floor, but now he's got them on the top. Just to kind of make more space. So he built this upper deck just for these. And there are open areas up here, so technically the smoke does have somewhere to go. And then, you know, just being organized, we just marked all the boxes. So the meads, the mead bases, cooked meats, raw meats, vegetables, fruits, ingredients, lots of ingredients. This is where I was experimenting with different chests. And then I gave a little exit door off the side here, so we didn't have to go through all the smoke. Looks like we're getting a bit of fog. This here is actually the Eider refinery, and for those of you who know, processed Eider puts off kind of like radiation, like lightning type of a thing. So I put this warning to people who join the server later to try not to be inside it, but then I realized I could just shield the machine itself. So if you look carefully, there's metal iron gates all around the machine. Like literally all around the surfaces where the stuff would leak out from. So like above it, around the sides of it here. So it's encapsulated, but you could still reach the feed. So like you could put I forgot what, it was like a fleshy bits or something like that goes in here. And then sap goes in here. And then the refined pieces drop out right there. And I was trying to stack like a whole bunch of these, so there would be this big pile of glowing little Eider things because they actually light up pretty bright. But I noticed after a while they started, the server started lumping them together. So now there's, you know, 30 of each in those. So I have to make hundreds to get that pile that I want, which I might do eventually. That's just very time consuming. The iron gates are immune to those little, you saw that little thing zap off like that, it does 0 damage. So that's why it's an iron gate. Over here is the workshop. And in here is just basically your forge and your workbench over here. And then stuff and things. This is for eyes and Surtling cores. If you want to know where to get Surtling cores really quickly and easily, ashlands. Animal skins, ancient woods, black metal, and then this is all the individual metal ores. Usually the ores are on the bottom and the bars are on top. Then got a smelter, blast furnace. This is the kiln for charcoal. That's where I keep the coal. Black forge with its water cooler. And then this is where you make like magic items for the Galder table. Flaxbox 360 where I process the flax into linen thread. And then this is just where I keep the woods, stones, arrows, trophies, leather materials, armor, and weapons and tools. Basically, when we get new weapons and armor, we drop the old stuff off in here. In case there's like a new player that plays and he needs stuff, he can use the stuff that's in the box. This is what we actually called the Great Hall. But it's pretty, well, I mean, it's not basic, but it's not sparse either. So we had grandiose plans for this, but they changed. I probably should update the map too. And then originally we all slept here. So like at the end of the day we'd all pick a bed and then we'd crash out for the night. And then out here one day I decided to build, oh, there's wood here, a hot tub out here so you can have a view. But this view used to not have a boathouse and a protected harbor in front of it, so now it's sort of just an outside bath type thing. And I'm stuck. There we go. And it just goes all the way around. And usually this is lit up. And then eventually I came up with this idea of why don't we put little closets and make them individual warps. So the warp zone actually goes to another building that has a bunch of different warp zones in it, but these are just the basic ones near the base. So like this was the spawn point where you actually drop off your trophies for the bosses. It's near the beginning where you start in the game. And for now we'll go to the West Lighthouse because that was the one that you saw outside in the ocean. And it's going to be very blinding when we get inside. As you can see, incredibly blinding. So let's just run down to the bottom right quick. And I'll just take the shortcut by falling through the floor. There we go. And then from out here, well, you can't really see it, but it is glassed in. And that's, you know, kind of looking back towards the base there. This bottom floor will flood in a really heavy storm. Like, it'll get up to about almost where I'm standing now. So I did this one in all blue lights. And obviously the closer to the top you get, the brighter it's going to get. And I was really hoping the light would carry further out, but it kind of doesn't. So it didn't really do what I wanted it to do. But as you can tell, it's kind of bright. It's got an arch top with a flat roof. Okay. So I think these are Locke's Cape floors, and then these are I forgot what it's called now, but it's red carpet basically. There's a blue one too. And then over here is my chicken farm, You get the chicken farm, I believe, or you get chicken eggs, I believe, after you beat the second boss. There's a trader, and he'll sell you eggs. They're quite expensive. Call it Go Cluck Yourself. And inside here, I made them with fires to keep your eggs warm. And it's caged in because we have a lot of chickens, like a lot of chickens. A lot of chickens. I just feed them turnip seeds. And then the chickens actually do use the... Ooh, there's a dead chicken here somehow. Anyway, they actually do use the second floor. So I put turnip seeds up here too. So now they have twice as much usable space to walk around in. Of course, now that I'm here, they all want to be in my way. Of course. Come on, chickens, move. Okay. I don't want to get too close to that because I'll start picking up all the seeds. Don't want to do that. Come on, chickens, move it. Move! Oh man, I should just cull the herd a little bit. Jesus, they're in the way. I hate when they do this. I really hate when they do this. There. Hey, get out of the way. Move, hen. There. You stay in there. I have too many chickens. I bet that was a FPS nightmare too. So this, that's the east wall there. This is the, I believe this is the Raven's Gate. Yeah, I call it the Raven Gate. So this is the eastern exit. And as you can see, the moat continued around. And it goes all the way out to this lake. And because of the draw distance, let me walk over here a little bit more. You can see this is my first iteration of a lighthouse. I built it on a lake because I thought it'd be cool to have a lighthouse on a lake. And that one's actually powered by 9 bonfires. That does put off a lot of light, actually, from a distance, as you can see. And then there's a raft to get back and forth. Otherwise, you would have to have all the stamina food to swim out there, naturally. But yeah, the moat connected between the ocean and this lake. So, ocean, lake. And that gate just goes out to some foresty bits. There's a lot of boars, and now I get a lot of the little green men, and I get a lot of skeletons out there too. But that heads back east. They never make it here. Otherwise they just throw themselves against these spikes, and you know, that problem solves itself. This is the thing I built today. This is the wolf kennel, I guess is a good way to put it. I call it Happy Paws. I think it's Happy Paws. Happy Tails Bark Park. So you go in here, and I gave him a couple of trees to pee on. And I even built them a little, named this after my former schnauzer, who's been no longer with me for a couple of years now. Just did it in kind of in honor of him. Gave him a little drinking hole, swimming hole area type thing. This is Evie. This is my current female Yorkshire Terrier that I own. And apparently she had another cub, because I only brought 2 wolves here. See, this one hasn't been given a name yet. What should I name him? Oh yeah, I'll name him Tank. I like to name them after my current dogs. My friend who plays this with me, he actually started taming these, and his base is way over here. So I had to take 2 of his wolves, I put them on a boat, and then I sailed them all the way over here. But I only brought 2, and you keep them happy and fed. So like this is their little sleeping area, right? And their feeding area, right there. So if you keep them fed, they'll breed. And then when that wolf cub grows up, then I'll name him another one of my dogs. He names all of his wolves at his base after the Game of Thrones dire wolves. Oh, I should probably make sure he's not following me. I think I touched him. Yeah. Here. There, you stay. And I don't think she's following me, right? No. Just gotta jump over the gate. So this wall worked a little different because I had water features kind of on the south side of the base. But the towers are more or less all the same. They're all slightly different sizes and shapes, but I got them to all line up together for the walkways at least. And I tried to make the entrance archways and the roofs and all that as similar as possible. But like, one of the more eagle-eyed viewers will probably notice that there's slightly different shapes at each one. It's just how it turned out. So most of them have these little stairways up there. And that lighthouse is actually built on an island. There was an island out there, a small one. That's where I got the idea to do a lighthouse. That one's a lot wider, and it's only, I think, 7 floors. But the top floor is double for the bonfires, and it's just open air on the top. I originally roofed it off, but apparently it chokes out so much air that the flames go out, so I just knocked the roof back out. But because of the way that the water sort of worked out on this side of the map, I ended up having to kind of notch right there. So the south wall is like staggered. And I just built that kind of metal mesh in case of aggro monster somehow decided he was going to swim around my wall to try to come up this way. So I built that to sort of give him a harder time to do that. It, him, whatever. Originally what we had done was we built, actually I'll have to show you in a second. It's off to the right. We built a canal to go from the ocean to the boat. And then I turned the canal into something else. That's why I started building the base like this. This creek was part of our base. Like it flowed through before I built the walls. And then I thought, I'm gonna make the river flow through the base. So it started off with just the creek, and then there's a portcullis under my feet there, and there's another one over by the fish pond, and then the fish pond one's connected to the moat, and then there's no north exit water feature. The moat just goes around the base. And as you can see, we're past the draw distance now, so there's so much stuff going on that it can't draw it all. And then this is a floating, like, tower, right? And I went Tinker Toys with the core wood to sort of make it make sense when it comes to physics. So I built a bunch of like wooden supports to hold it up basically. It's not necessary, but I just thought it would be, you know, me being pedantic. So there's a notch here, and then that actually leads to the south gate, which I believe I called, yeah, this is the wolf gate, which is the south gate. So it's another double gate like all the other ones. But instead of going directly south, it goes west to a bridge that heads south, west-ish. And then this wall continues around and hangs left, as you can see. What's getting +0 down there? Anyway, there's a pretty good view of the sundial. And it is 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. 11 a.m.-ish. So this was the canal we originally built. It started about here, as you can see on the map at the top right corner. And we just dug it out until we were swimming. And then went all the way across. And then I decided, let's build a bridge. And then I thought, let's build defenses. So we first did it on that side. And then I built them on this side. And then I thought, why don't I just build a wall? And that's kind of how all this evolved. And I thought, well, the wall's pretty far. Why don't I build a sky bridge to go between the two walls in the north and south? And I thought, why don't we have a protected harbor? So this place just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, as you can see. But I just thought, you know, I'd share this with you guys. Thought it was kind of neat. Thought maybe you'd find it kind of neat. my Valheim base. My base does not really have a name. I just call it Central because all warp zones lead to this base. So the other people I play with can jump in and they can warp from basically my base to any other base on the map that we have set up. See, right now I'm getting into the draw distance of these features, so now those are finally starting to draw back out. I've bogged down the server so much with different assets. Like, look, I can't even finish drawing the boat from here. If I get closer, it will. So I think what it is the server is so bogged down that it's stripping assets at certain draw distances to draw the ones ahead of me. Which is fine. I mean, it's okay. That's why I have to walk around to show you all the features, but it's cool. I think that's pretty much it. I haven't really thought of anything else to do to this place. I have food farm, I have a tree farm, I have a wolf pen right there, right? It's like pretty much got everything I want right there. So we've got chickens, we've got boars, we've got wolves. The only thing else I could think of is trying to figure out how to get a locks over here. But I don't know if I really care to or not. It's not really mission critical or anything. So anyway, this was Valheim, and this is my build of the month entry, I guess. And I'll try to share it with the proper hashtag so maybe somebody from the Valheim development crew can see it, and maybe they will share this video with total strangers that are not subscribed to my channel, and maybe this will inspire them to build something awesome too, because I had a lot of fun doing it. I've probably got 200-300 hours in this game so far. It's sort of passed a lot of time for me. I think we just had another puppy. I just heard the howling. Let's take a look. Do we have more puppers? You hear that noise? Do we have puppers? Let's see. I have a tank. I have an Eevee. I have an Arthur, and I have a pup. Okay, so we only have the one pup right now. Fine, whatever. It's cool. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you guys for this. I hope it inspired some of you to build some really cool things, and maybe you can leave a link to a video that you built, or show off what you built, and I'll give it a look and a thumbs up for you. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, welcome, but if you're a regular here, welcome back. Either way, maybe check out my other playlist as well, and see if my other interests may be of interest to you. This isn't a normal penny arcade, I understand, but this isn't something I was going to do a series on anyway. I just thought I'd share my Legos with you. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe give me a like, thumbs up, share it with somebody else. And we'll see you on the next one. Before the fog completely engulfs my whole view. Which it will. Later.